accepting my request and accepting to talk with me.
Absolutely. My pleasure. How are you, sir?
I'm great, sir. How are you?
I always say better than I deserve.
Great, sir. Great. So I thought to introduce you to my audience.
Well, how's it going, audience? How are you?
Yeah, audience are going. I mean, they are fantastic. They are doing great, and I interact with them every day. They are doing great, and yeah, me too. I'm doing good. I'm from India.
I like your hair. Is that okay to say?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's a compliment.
Okay. All right. I wish I had hair like that. Like I don't think I could get my hair like I could I try to do that maybe? I don't know.
You have your own style that suits for you, and that is new for me.
All right, fair enough. So I'm excited because I really do. I'm excited that you reached out on a couple of different reasons. One, I've always wanted to connect with people of India or from India. I live in Oregon in the United States, which is on the West Coast. It's between California and Washington if you're looking at a map. And by the way, it is 8:48 on Wednesday, January 20th. So I don't know when you'll air this, but so people can get that perspective. But I have always been fascinated by the people of India because for whatever reason, my show is getting downloaded lots and lots and lots and lots of times from the people of India, and I've yet to connect with anyone. So it's great that we get to meet today and talk. So that's fun.
Maybe they are connecting to your vocabulary, or maybe they are connecting to the content that you're putting.
I have no idea, but I would love it if somebody from India, if you know someone who's listened or would listen and then give some feedback, because I would love that as a podcast host of a show called Other People's Shoes. I really do want to get into their shoes. I want to get into what they're about and the struggles and the challenges that they're coming through, you know?
Okay, so that is what I wanted to tell more people who are from India who follows me. I want to tell about your podcast. I want to tell them what exactly that you are doing and your show is about and your content is about. So before talking about that, can you please introduce yourself to my audience?
Yeah, absolutely. Be my pleasure. So as I said, my name is Neil, Neil Matthews, and I am the host of Other People's Shoes. I am a dad of a 13-year-old. I have a wife of 19 years. We're high school sweethearts. We met in 1997, and we've been together kind of ever since. I love Jesus with all my heart and soul. And I also love this team that I'm wearing right here, the University of North Carolina. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So the
yeah.
University of North Carolina, they're called the Tar Heels. And if some of you may know this guy, Michael Jordan, anyone? Show of hands. Michael Jordan went to school there, and that's not the reason why I like him per se, but that is a big reason why most people like them. So that's kind of me in a nutshell.
So other people's shoe is your podcast.
Yes, sir.
So when did you start this? And what made you to
So
start this?
yeah, so I started it at the end of the month. It will be 2 years since I really started. But what made me start it was my wife, actually. She said to me that I needed to find something to do. I needed a project. And so this was kind of her idea. She said, I think you should start a podcast. I had no idea what I was doing when I started. No idea. No idea about what microphone to get, Skype, mixer board, none of that stuff. And I've learned all of that along the way the last 2 years. And so that's what started the show. But I guess one thing I would say what I'm learning from the show, which is always kind of fun, is I'm learning to really understand people and really understand their story, because I believe that everyone has value and everyone's story has value. And there's so much importance to that. And it's connections like this that get made on Instagram and other places like that you can really understand people and really get to know them and really understand where they're coming from, because I think those type of understanding can really help us get a different perspective on life, which is what I'm all about.
So you personally should have this kind of thing in your mind. thinking about that, going into other person's shoes and see from their perspective, seeing world from their perspective. And I think that is one of the greatest qualities that a human being should have, and which actually helps the countries to reduce the violence that is happening between human beings.
I completely agree. And I think, again, one thing that our worlds, no matter if you're in India or if you're in Oregon or if you're in Canada or if you're in New Zealand, doesn't matter. I think we all are lacking this understanding and empathy. Now, I've been told you can learn empathy, but I don't believe that to be true. I think either you have empathy, in other words, you understand what it feels like to be someone else's pain, someone else's perspective, or you don't. It's one or the other. And so I think our world really needs to try our very best to see what it's like to be you, to see what it's like to feel what you've gone through. Because I think when we do that and when we come to that understanding, what happens is this synergy, this connection takes place. Oh, that happened to you too? Well, maybe now we can be friends because we've gone through that together.
Okay, so you're kind of a person, you want to know, you want to think in other person's point of view all the
For
time.
sure. Yeah, I do. I really try my best to, in every situation, I really try to see what it's like to be you. I really try to understand what it's like to be you. What would I do if I was in your situation? What would I do if I was in India right now? Like, I don't know. I don't even know where I would go, what food I would eat, right? I don't know that. But I would hope that I would come with the understanding if we were going to hang out together for a day and spend the day together, I would do whatever you would do. I would want to understand where you walk. I would want to understand more about the building that you're at, or the friends that you know, or your wife or your girlfriend or your whoever. I would want to understand that. And I think when we try our very best to do that, I think we're gonna see things a little differently, as I said.
So your podcast name is what exactly it is? What is the name of your podcast?
Other people's shoes.
Other people's shoes. So what about your shoes?
Well, I have a lot of shoes. You can kind of see it behind me here. I have lots of shoes. I even have some shoes on the wall there. Some Vans tennis shoes, which kind of maybe looks like our logo a little bit. But I have upwards of 50 pairs of shoes. Is that a lot for, I don't know, for people in India? Do you have a lot of shoes?
Yeah, I have shoes. I
Okay,
have
but
shoes.
do you have like upwards of like 50, 100 pairs of shoes, or how many shoes do you own? How many pairs?
I have like 4 to 5 pairs.
Four or
That's
five
it.
pairs. Okay,
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah,
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 see, I
yeah.
have like 50 pairs
You have
of shoes.
50 pairs of shoes. Okay.
Yeah, I have a shoe problem probably. Yeah,
Shoe problem. You like it. I respect it.
I do. I tend to buy a lot of shoes, which is probably
Okay,
really
okay,
bad. But we all have our
okay.
problems in life, right?
Yeah, actually, my question is, I hope you can understand. What about your shoes, your perspective? When you are going into other people's shoes, what about your perspective?
Well, that's the best part. Is I try to take my perspective, my thoughts, my feelings, and I set them aside. I put them aside
Okay,
because my thoughts, my feelings, my perceptions don't really get to be on the table.
okay,
They get to be pushed aside because again, if I'm really going to understand you, I can't come in with my glasses, my eyes. I have to see it from your point of view. Does that make sense? Does that translate
yeah,
okay?
I got you. So, I'm a writer. I used to write a line in Hindi, which is called as "Sabko sunna apna karna" in Hindi language, which means listen to everybody, but do your own thing.
Say that one more time. I want to make sure I heard that right.
Listen to everybody, listen to every perspective, and do something that comes from your mind, collecting
Yeah.
all the perspectives and implementing your thought.
Yeah, no, I love that a lot. And one of the phrases that I love, and that's a great one too, is I love this phrase. To give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift. And so I feel like if people aren't able to give their best, they really are sacrificing that gift that's inside of them. And their best you may be the best writer out there. But if you're sacrificing that gift because maybe somewhere somebody along the way said, "Oh, you're no good at that. You're bad at that. You're terrible at that." And you start to believe that, you then begin to sacrifice the gift. And see, I believe every person is a gift. Now, whether they choose to express that gift or not, that's a different question. And so that's what I try to remind people of as well.
Okay. So when did you start? You said that 2 years before you started it. How many people with whom you are connected?
So I don't understand what you're asking.
How many people have exchanged words with you?
Oh, how many people have exchanged words with me about the show?
Yeah.
Oh, I would say upwards of maybe 100, 200 people. That's a guess.
Oh my God, that's a big number.
Yeah. Yeah.
So can I say now you are a collection of 200 people?
Yeah. I mean, we've had over 115 episodes out right now. And so individuals, such as yourself or others can listen at opspodcast.com. Is a great place to listen. Or I know in India there's some different platforms, and I don't know their names because I would try to say them, but I would probably make you laugh trying to pronounce them. I don't know what they're called. One of them starts with a J, Jahavi, or I don't know. Maybe
I will search for it. I don't really have some of the podcast I know is Spotify and Apple Podcast.
Yeah. Yes, there's one in India that's called Jahavi or something like that, and then Guyana.
Ghana.com.
Ghana.com. So we are there as well. So we are on Ghana.com, and then again that other one that I can't really say so good. But we're also on Spotify, Stitcher, and things like that, and Apple Podcasts, of course. So
how many downloads that you have internationally?
Internationally, so that is a great question. So as of this exact moment, let me just look. I'll pull exact numbers for you right now. So, which is kind of fun, right?
Okay.
So, internet's cooperating. That's awesome. So as of this moment right now, as we are talking, there's this little place called India. I don't know if you've heard of it, but Republic of India has 10,064 downloads. That is second only to the United States. United States has 11,011 downloads. So India is creeping up there. It's like going to overtake the United States soon enough. So, which I'm excited about. I don't care. Like, I just want people to listen to the show and really get that different perspective on life. That's really all I care about. I don't care if you're in India. I don't care if you're in United States or Australia, which by the way is third with 637. So they got a little ways to go to catch India and the United States. But
so what is the complete number?
What's that?
What is the total number?
Oh, the total number so far? Altogether?
Yeah, altogether.
23,188.
Wow.
Is that a lot?
It's a very big number in just 2 years.
Okay. I'll let you be the judge of that. I don't.
For me.
Okay. All right. So for me, here's what I would say to that. Is what I care about? I care about the one download. The one download. And what I mean by that is the one person that downloads it and does exactly maybe what you did. Reach out and says, hey, I love that episode. That episode spoke to my heart. That episode helped me change my direction a little bit, helped me get a little mindset shift. That helped me do that. I saw that person differently after hearing that episode. That's what I want.
So that Yeah, that 111 became 20,000 plus for you.
Right. Potentially. Yeah.
So what do you talk with the people?
Say that one more time.
What do you talk? What do you talk with the people who comes to your show?
Where do I talk to them?
Yeah. What
Oh,
are the
like,
topics?
oh, what are the topics? Oh, I see. Okay. So my show goes in seasons. So right now I'm in my 7th season. And so the first season we talked about kind of the struggles that people have. The second season we talked about why people leave the church, again, because I'm a Christian guy. I want to know why people have left our church, right? And so, the third season is we talked about, perseverance. And then the fourth season, we talked about kind of our vision, our identity, and things that have cost us along the way, helping with our identity. And then our sixth season, we talked about the search, this people being on this search for something. Maybe they found something. There's a U2 song, I still haven't found what I'm looking for. So we kind of stole a little bit of that from that. And so people were on this great search. And then in our 7th season right now, we're talking about how you see me. So, like, how do I see you? Do I see you more than what you are? Again, going into that heart issue. So those are some of the things we've talked about in the last 2 years. So
So is this your full-time job?
I wish. No, not yet. Someday, hopefully, but not yet.
How how much time you spend on this daily?
Daily? Boy, that's
Yeah.
tough. It's hard to put a number on that, but if I was gonna guess, I'm probably always thinking about it. Yeah.
Always think. Okay.
Yeah. I'm always thinking about who's the next person I want to talk to. How
Okay.
can I make the show better?
Okay.
How can I make connections like these? Yeah, I'm always kind of thinking about it. So as far as putting an actual number, like hours spent on it, boy, that'd be tough. Monday nights are my editing nights. That's probably the biggest night I spend on it, and that's anywhere between 4 to 6 hours of editing. Interviews usually about an hour, and so I usually do maybe about 1 a week, 2 a week, sometimes depends on people. So yeah, I mean, I spend a lot of time on it. Probably enough for a full-time job, I would imagine, in the week. Yeah, probably about 30 hours.
So you have exchanged words with a lot of different thinking people from different parts of the world, right?
Yes. So I have gone to New Zealand. I say go because, imagination
Yeah.
wise, like right now we're in
Okay.
India in my mind. I'm going to do my best to be in India, right?
Virtual tour.
What's that?
Virtual tour.
One more time.
Moving virtual tour.
Yeah. Virtual tour. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been to New Zealand. I've been to Great Britain. I've been to Canada a couple of times. United States a ton, obviously, because that's where I'm from. But I'm always willing to talk to anybody. It doesn't matter where they're from. I'm not biased. I have a map. That's why I keep looking up here. I have 2 maps. I have a world map and then I have a United States map. And every time I talk to somebody from a country or a state, I put a little pin. See if I can get one. So I have these pins from all over the world, and they have different flags.
Okay.
You see that? So when I go to that country, I put their flag, in the map, so I remember where they're from. And in the United States, I do the same thing, except with not with a flag pin, but I do a pin like this, like a little push pin.
Okay.
Little push pin there.
Okay.
And so, that's what I do to remind me of that I've been there. And it also reminds me to just say a little prayer for that person when I look at their pin on the map,
Okay.
That's something kind of fun, right?
Yeah, understood. So, how many countries approximately?
Oh, 4 or 5 that I've talked to people from, 4 or 5 countries. Yeah.
That's great, man. You are interacting with different English-speaking people.
mainly English speaking people. Yeah, I don't speak any other languages other than English, so that would be a challenge. I'm not
So I'm
against it, but I would probably have to get an interpreter, which might slow down the interview process a little bit.
so New Zealand English is different from British English and the Canadian English and American English. So what kind of difference that you observed in the language?
Yeah, so as far as languages go, I've been pretty fortunate to speak with most people with English, if that makes sense. Even the
Okay.
gentleman from Great Britain that I spoke with, he had an accent, but it was, I could understand him. We had a good
Okay.
conversation. So, and the people from Canada spoke English too. So,
Any Indian?
no, nobody from India yet. You could be the first one though.
I'm from India. This will be a new experience for me, for you, for sure. Because uh, I did the same. Have you seen any previous videos of mine on YouTube channel of my YouTube
Yeah,
channel?
I did watch a few of them, yes, and I love that you're getting so many, kind of like me, getting so many diverse people, and I think for somebody like you to understand maybe what's going on over here or just anywhere is pretty awesome to do. So keep up the good work.
Yeah, I did 270 plus videos in last 5 months with
Wow,
about 80 country people.
wow, that's that's impressive, my friend. Bravo, yes, applause to you on that. Yeah,
I
that's good.
decided to start the podcast in few days, and I want to put the content in that too.
Yeah, absolutely. If you need some help with that, let me know. I'd be more than happy to help you.
Thank you for saying that, man. But finding the same person who thinks like you is very, is a great feeling.
It
I
is.
can feel that there is a person who is thinking like me, knowing about how people think, and that is what your podcast name attracted me.
Yeah, I have a friend down in Texas. His name is Sean McCoy, and he has a podcast called Come to the Table. And in his line,
Okay.
he said, everyone is welcome at his table. Everyone. Everyone is
Okay.
welcome to have a seat at his table. And it's kind of similar to mine, except instead of shoes, it's a table. But he does a really good show too. And for those that are listening, you could find him on Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well. Just a really good friend. If you want to hear another kind of different kind of conversation, but similar thinking at least conversation. So fun show there too.
Connecting with the titles.
Yeah, that's the best part, right? Is connecting with the title, connecting with something that really says, what does that mean? What I want to learn more about that. As an example, I had a privilege of sitting with two Muslim moms this last year in 2020 to learn about Islam, and
Okay.
I don't know much about Islam. I don't know
Okay.
anything. I'm a white guy from Oregon. Like what can I do with that, right? But it was a great conversation to ask real questions about what they've walked through, being not only women, but Islamic women. I mean, that's kind of a real treat, and it was a real great opportunity to do that. So again, talking about my ideas and my perception, that got to get pushed away because I wanted to hear from them and their heart, right?
So you're talking with different thinking people, right? You're getting information, you're knowing how they are thinking, what they are thinking, and where those thoughts are coming from. And after getting all these things, when you're sleeping, before going to sleep, what you will think about yourself and think about the world. I mean, world means different people thinking in different ways. What before you get sleep? What do you think?
Well, I think to answer that, I just really thank God. Um, I don't know why He has allowed me to have the conversations I've been able to have. I don't know. I'm a person that doesn't feel like I deserve a lot, and so when I get blessed with an opportunity to sit with somebody and really hear their story and really hear where they're coming from I sit back and I kind of smile and I say, man, I really have had an amazing opportunity to connect with somebody. And it's just really cool. So
This is the only reason why you got 20,000 downloads, man.
I don't know why I got 20,000. I don't know. I'm grateful for that too. Don't get me wrong. I am grateful, but I don't care about that. I want to know that somebody's been changed and impacted by a story that they heard. That's really all I care about.
So I'm taking your story now. I'm talking about you. You're talking and you're knowing their stories. I want to know your story. What is your story?
Well, my story is kind of boring, but I grew up in I was born in North Carolina. That's part of the reason why I like the Tar Heels. But I was born in North Carolina. My dad was a Marine, so he was gone a lot. So I didn't have a great father figure kind of role model to kind of model my life after. My mom has worked in childcare most, if not all, of my life, and so she was kind of always taking care of other people's kids, and so sometimes, not always, but sometimes we got kind of pushed aside because she was taking care of everybody else's kids. I have a brother and two sisters, so I'm the youngest of four, and grew up wanting to play baseball, grew up wanting to be in sports broadcasting, and it wasn't until 1999 in Colorado, Littleton, Colorado. I don't know how many of you guys know about the Columbine shooting that took place in 1999, but two kids went into a high school and killed some of their fellow students. Well, I was a senior in high school that year, living in Oregon, where I am now, and that event changed my life forever. Even though I wasn't in Colorado, it put me on a track and a place to go help young people, and so that's been my passion for the longest time, helping young high school, middle school students. I became a pastor, and so I worked in those efforts, and then stepped away from being a pastor and focused more on my life and my marriage and my daughter, and now I'm podcasting, and my real job is I work for a Fortune 500 company in the United States, a car dealership. And I do what's called collection calls. So that's kind of me and my story. Probably my biggest struggle that I've had to come through is I've suffered with dyslexia, which is a learning disability, and so that sometimes makes my job and even podcasting, especially when I'm communicating with people, a little bit of a challenge. So I've had to work through some of that hardship and shifting of my mind to kind of help get through. And maybe that's why I'm so much of a good talker. It's because I absolutely hate writing things. And so to hear that you're a writer, that's very commendable, because that is a skill I wish I had. Because I don't write very well, and I wish I wrote better. But yeah, that's kind of my story.
So what are the negatives that you faced after starting this podcast?
Will anyone listen? I think that's true with anybody that's creating content now, whether it be you doing these videos or me doing the audio side, is will anyone listen? Will anybody really take the time to sit down and listen to the show? And so to get over that has probably been the biggest hurdle, I would say.
Okay. Any problems that you faced?
Oh, tons of problems. I mean, there's technology problems, there's mic issues, there's losing the file after you recorded an hour and a half show with a guest. There's countless problems. Yeah, there's problems every day, Oh, the iTunes didn't upload my file right. There's too many to mention. Yeah, there's lots of problems. Yeah.
I'm smiling because I know that.
The chair I'm sitting in may or may not have been dumped over at one point in time in anger when I thought I lost a file. So how about that?
Okay. So what is the best one that you liked in your collection?
Oh my gosh. The best one. Probably my lady. I don't know. All of them are good. Do you have any kids? We didn't ever establish that.
No, I don't remember actually. This is my favorite right now.
Right. So I have one kid, so it's easy to say she's my favorite, right? Because there's only one. I have 115 shows roughly. It's hard to pick one. They all just are so good. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's probably not a good answer, but I really don't know. I don't have one.
So they
They're
are
all,
from different professions.
yes. Oh yeah. Different walks of life, moms, dads, grandmas. I don't know if we've had any grandmas. Maybe we've had a few grandmas. Yeah, all walks of life, most all ethnicities. I have a friend of mine who is African American, and he tells about the struggles of what it was like growing up African American in the United States, which is really hard. I've talked to authors, I've talked to speakers, I've talked to musicians, I've talked to authors, bloggers, other podcasters, all kinds of people. Yeah, too many
You said
people probably.
you said everybody that I did, with whom I
Yeah,
did.
yeah. Well,
So
talk to smart people, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So any person who is related to like did PhD in different subjects or army people, American
Yes.
army.
We've had United States Marines, two of them. My dad was on the podcast, so that was kind of a fun episode. A friend of mine told me it was the best podcast I've ever done, so I don't know. I don't know about that. My sisters have been on. My mother-in-law's been on. A lot of family have been on. My brother-in-law's been on. Yeah, I mean, I'll talk to anybody. Friends, best friends have been on. I kind of just talk to anybody that'll talk to me. So,
Okay, so okay, what is the one which who is the person who was not matching with your thinking, like rebel?
Oh, there's been a lot of people that have not matched with my thinking. There was one lady in particular who is, she's a lesbian, and she doesn't match with my thinking at all. But I still heard her. I still gave her a chance to share her voice, and really kind of helped understand where she's coming from a whole lot better.
Okay. So what was the duration of the conversation?
One more time.
What is the duration?
The duration.
The duration, the time that you had exchanged words with her.
Oh, probably about an hour.
In 1 hour, you are unable to connect with her, and she is unable to connect with you.
Yes.
Okay, but you are the person who goes to other person's shoes.
What's that?
You are the person who goes other person's shoes and try to understand.
Yes, correct. And so that's what I'm trying to say, again, going back to what I was saying earlier, is the idea that I don't get to come and tell you what I think you should be, right?
Okay.
It's not my job to do that. It's my job to understand where you're coming from.
Okay. So you understand everybody in simple words.
I try my very best to understand people the best I can, yes.
You have
Simple.
no fixed mindset that
Nope.
no, you take people like they are.
Yes, sir. It's not my job to fix anyone. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not God. I can't fix you.
So I have a question.
Not my job to fix you.
I got you. So I have a question. So I think there are a lot of doctors who are fixing the bodies of the human beings, right? So different human beings' bodies mechanism will be different. One person's mechanism of the body will not match with other person's body mechanism. So all these books, different people write different books, and we study from that, and we get we those are perspectives, right? Like those are shoes. Those are different people's shoes, and they are writing books and they are doing podcasts, they are doing YouTube videos. Different content creators are there these days. A lot of content creators are there because of the internet. A lot of people are telling a lot of information. So we are taking that. So which one we should take and which one we should not take? I mean, we is not the right word. Uh, when it comes to you, which one will you take?
I think I will always take to the side of understanding. I, I'm not in it to try to fix somebody. I'm not in it to have you think the way I think. Right? It's not what it's about. Now, at the end of every show, I usually say, "Hey, here's what I learned. Here's my takeaway. Here's something that I think we should be able to take away." I try to draw from what somebody shared to just help you think, maybe just to remind you of a point that maybe a guest shared. But outside of that, again, it's not my job to get you to change the way you think. I just want to present you the information, but it's up to you whether you want to choose to take it or not.
So what do you gain from this?
Well, I think I gain just understanding. I gain a love for that person that maybe I've never seen before. I gain an appreciation for people. I gain the value of a story. You think about it like a treasure chest, like a pirate treasure chest. Little coins or jewels hidden inside of this chest, this imaginary chest, that each time I sit with somebody, maybe I insert my key, unlock the chest, and I get to put another jewel inside the treasure chest. And I think that's ultimately what I gain, is I gain these treasures that to me may mean nothing to anyone else, but they are so intimately special to me.
So is this helping you in living
I think
this
so.
podcast?
Absolutely. I believe it helps me every day in living. It helps me in my work job, my real job. I think it helps me in my relationships with friends. I think it helps me in relationships with, people I interact with in the grocery store. Cause, in the United States, I'm sure you have it in India too. We have COVID, right? So we've had to wear masks, and it still helps my interaction with people even during these pandemic times.
So by doing this, have you faced anything negative because of this podcast in your living? Have you faced anything bad?
No, I don't think I've ever gotten any negative feedback at all. Most everybody,
Not feedback for doing this. The relations or the connections are reacting with you or treating you in different way like that.
no, I don't believe so. I don't really try to let negative things come into me.
Okay.
When I
I
feel a
mean the
negative
way
thought or a negative process, I try to shove it away.
Okay, the way they interact with you will be different, right? Because they will be listening to your shows, right? Before podcast, what you was, and after podcast, definitely you will be changing every day when you listen to the story of a person, right? So when you continuously listen, and the people who are listening to your show, also the way they interact with you will change. They will not treat you in the same way they treated you in the first day when you don't have podcast, or when you are just buying your mic. Today 150 is the number. Today 20,000 is the number. So the connections after 150, after 20,000, the interaction, the way they treat, it can be positive. Uh, it can be positive or negative, or it can be different, the way they interact with you. Definitely after listening to your show, because you are projecting somebody's life, or you are projecting somebody's imagination through your medium.
For sure. And I think there's so much power in that, in being able to be trusted with somebody's story. Again, going back to that treasure chest, that they're giving me a treasure. They're giving me a piece of themselves. Not to make a shoe pun, but they're giving me a piece of their soul.
So That's what I'm thinking. Is there any change in the way they interact with you?
I don't think so because I don't know. I don't think there is. There hasn't been too much of a change. Yeah.
Are you the same person who was before and now?
No. No, I'm not. That part's definitely changed. I've changed, but as far as people around me, yeah, I don't think anybody's changed. And nobody's treated me like I'm not a rock star or anything like that. There's no like billboards or signs, or nobody's banging down my door to try to get my autograph or anything like that. You know what I mean? None of that's happening. So
So you are increasing your wealth.
am I increasing my wealth?
Yeah. Your
No.
wealth is your treasury that you said
Yes.
just now.
That I am. Yes. Emotional
That's what
wealth
I'm.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
emotional wealth.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
so do you think? So I'm sure you feel that is your wealth, and that is what that is where you will get happiness.
For sure. Absolutely.
So
There's happiness in
okay.
podcasting. Yeah, that could be a shirt.
Okay. So do you have any number like you want to reach, or you just want to
Yeah,
continue?
absolutely. People can reach out, as I mentioned already, people can reach out to the show, opspodcast.com. On that page, there is a way that you can connect with me. There's a little connections tab on the page. Click on that and you can send me an email, or, send an email through the show. You can also leave a voicemail. That's kind of fun too. So if you're on the website, you can click on that and you can leave a verbal voicemail. And I would love to hear what people think. And, of course, I would love for people to listen, ultimately. And you can do that at opspodcast.com or any platform of choice. We're probably there.
So I'll put your podcast link in the description of this video. So people
That'd
who
be great.
watches this video can find your podcast and can listen your content.
That would be great. I would appreciate that tremendously. Thank you. That's very kind.
So at last, have you seen any previous videos of mine on YouTube, and what you felt?
I saw a few of them. There was a lieutenant in the army, I think it was,
Yeah.
and I felt good about that one. Partly because, again, my dad was in the military, and so that one resonated with me a little more. And then I've kind of scrolled through and I've watched a few of them. And as I said, man, you're doing great work. I love what you're doing.
So thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me your valuable time and giving answers to my questions, at the same time introducing you to my world, which means my audience, and to people who follows me. They will know you through me now.
And I love that. I love that we've been able to connect. That's awesome.
I love this connection.
For sure. That's what it's all about, man.
So can I put this video on my YouTube channel, on internet, and on social media, and everywhere, on podcast, with your
Absolutely.
permission?
I would love for you to do that. 100%.
Yeah. So thank you, sir. Thank you, Neil, for coming to my show and spending your valuable time.
Absolutely, man. It was my pleasure. You're a great host. Keep up the good work, man. If there's anything I can ever do to help, don't hesitate to ask. I'm here to help you.
Thank you, sir. Keep going, keep doing what you love, and I'm sure you will increase the number of thoughts that gives you happiness.
Absolutely, man. Be well.
Bye.
Bye-bye.